team was pretty lean. So it was lean, but very, excelling in whatever they did sort of people, always wanting to be in the top 5-10%. We were not bothered about what anybody else was doing. We had to do something that nobody else was doing. So that sort of a thing, it was very inspiring, especially as an intern. Now that I look back on it, it was an amazing opportunity to be able to be exposed to people at a level such as that, including clients, because I think there's a lot to learn about what, the level that those people are thinking and the sort of discussions they had. Maybe I didn't have things to contribute then, but now that I look at things, I keep learning from those experiences that I had probably 2-3 years ago. The experience of being there, that stays with me. So the stories, let's say, Rajesh said or Sarika told me, or probably while having lunch I heard a discussion that these guys were doing. So one aspect is this intangible, the subconscious learning that has happened. So it's like when you're around inspiring people, when you're around people who are thinking of certain things, reading certain things, talking about certain things, that sort of tidbits that you pick up at that point. Maybe you can't connect the dots then, but way down the line you have experience. So I think I worked over there, I worked with people with 10, 15, 20 years experience in what they were doing, and especially all of them were extremely passionate about what they were doing. So being around such people, I know that as an intern I barely had work experience until then. So I didn't understand a lot of things, even in fact about when they would talk about some experiences they had in a corporate ad agency and stuff like that. I don't think I related to that then. But now that I'm going out in the world and, dealing with those sort of people, it helps a lot. I liked the sort of structure, a little bit of structure and sense that probably not CA specifically, but that sort of academic world brought, or science, let's say, brought. And I liked the ambiguity and the, power to change things and the empathy that design brought. But I think here is where I learned how to marry the two. So I think that drastically changed my outlook towards what design can do and what research can do. I think everything that I did was design, because without learning that sort of a process, I could not go on to try and do what I wanted to do as a designer. That basic thing about empathy, about understand human-centeredness. Design wants to talk about you, however they call it. Earlier, ad agencies would call it customer and sell it to the customer. Later on, design thinking happened, and then they started, or whatever, UX happened, and then they started calling user-centeredness. It's confusing in the sense everybody is doing their bit. But for me personally, I feel that if I wanted to talk about any person here, when I came to human-centeredness, it was about how we could be a mediator. Center of gravity would be a person who is extremely intellectual, a person who reads a lot, I feel, who is witty, who is extremely sensitive, because and interested in people's lives. So being intellectual and proud in that way, but rooted to ground, like they know the real people who really matter. This person would be out of place, I feel, but belong everywhere. So out of place, let's say in a corporate, but be able to belong anywhere and make friends anywhere.